Friday, we were talking about the burner phones that you purchased in Victorville the day that you went to the wake at the Sementilli residence. Do you remember that?
I remember talking about that, yes.
And you said you didn't give Monica any of the burner phones at the wake, right?
No.
You do remember that, right?
I do remember that.
I'm sorry?
I do remember that.
Excuse me, Deputy, can you move the microphone closer to Mr. Baker? No? Thank you.
You knew that January 31st, Monica was going back to Toronto for the funeral and memorial services in Canada for Fabio, right?
I don't know the exact date, but I know she was going.
And that's the same time you went to Las Vegas, right?
I think so.
You don't remember?
I really don't.
Looking at People's 218, do you see the date, January 31st,
Yes,
2017,
I do.
8:30 at night, which is California time?
Okay.
It's a record for that ZTE telephone that we talked about last week that you bought for Monica. See right here where it says welcome to Canada?
I see it.
So if you didn't give her that burner phone, did she come to your apartment at some point in time and you gave it to her there? Or?
No, I really don't remember that because I thought it was later, much later than that. I didn't remember seeing her until February. I mean, besides the wake.
You didn't see her until February.
To my recollection, I don't remember. I really don't remember. I don't have all the dates. I don't remember these dates.
See this document here?
I believe you.
You also told the jury last week that you wanted the defendant to be happy. You wanted Monica to be happy, right?
I did.
And you felt that she was happiest when she was with you, right?
I felt that way.
And you told us last week because when she was with you, she could really enjoy herself and be who she was, her real self, right?
She could.
So that meant when she was not with you, she could not be her real self.
Objection,
Correct?
That's speculation.
Sustained.
You told us last week that Monica was living two different lives and that every time she had any free time, she would call you and you would get together.
Call or text, correct?
And then the two of you would get together on her timeline, right?
Correct.
And when you were together, that's when you felt Monica could be herself and happiest.
That's the answer.
I'll allow it.
Correct?
Yes.
I think you also testified last week that Monica would let you know when Fabio traveled, right?
Yes.
And that was when the two of you could spend even more time together, correct?
This is right, correct.
But she never stayed out overnight, never stayed during the night hours with you, right?
You mean like overnight, like all overnight?
Yes.
For the entire time? Or while he was around?
Both.
Well, maybe once or twice.
So isn't it true that there are numerous occasions after the murder, starting as early as the beginning of February, where Monica would stay with you until 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock even in the morning before going home?
Well, could have been. I don't remember. Could have
Sounds
been.
like that could have been?
It could have been.
More than just once or twice, as you just told the jury?
Could have been.
She ever tell you that her daughters wanted her home more?
No.
She ever tell you that one of her daughters was having substantial issues regarding Fabio's murder and needed to seek therapy?
Objection of foundation.
Overruled.
She mentioned that she was in counseling.
Who?
One of her daughters.
Okay. She tell you which?
I don't remember which one.
Did she tell you that one of her daughters was afraid to be in the house where her father was murdered by you?
She just said that they was in counseling. One of the daughters were in counseling. That's all I remember.
Do you remember her ever telling you that her daughter was afraid to be alone in the house because of what had happened there?
No.
Did she ever tell you that she couldn't spend hours during the night with you because she needed to be home where her daughters needed her after their father had been murdered in their home?
She mentioned it. She mentioned it once or twice that she had to leave because she had to check on the daughters.
She ever tell you that she couldn't spend hours and hours during the nighttime with you because her daughter was afraid to be home alone in the house?
Most of the time, she just left.
Most of the time she left?
Yeah.
Okay. So she didn't say anything about her daughter being afraid about being in the house?
That's an estimate.
It's overruled.
She might have mentioned it. I wasn't keeping track like that.
Didn't mean anything to you?
I wouldn't. Of course, it would mean something, but I just don't remember.
Well, obviously it didn't mean much, right? Because you had no problem murdering
Objection is argument.
the father
It's argument.
of the two girls, right?
I've already
Excuse
said
me.
I already said I did.
You didn't have any problem doing that. You didn't think of them at all, correct?
I already said I did it.
You did it?
I already did. I already
That's
said
a different question. My
did.
question is, did you think at all about the trauma that you would inflict for a lifetime on these two young girls and losing their father in their home in such a horrific manner? Did
No.
that ever cross your mind?
No, to make this easy for you, no.
Because you didn't really care about them, right?
I cared about him.
You cared a lot about them.
I cared about him.
You cared about them so much that you, again, took their father away from them in their home where they lived. The place that's supposed to be your sanctuary, right?
Can I answer now? I'm trying to answer. You keep going and going. I do care.
Objection moved to strike. Non-responsive.
Stricken.
Answer the question.
Ask again. Ask again one more time.
You cared so much about them that you destroyed their feeling of safety in their own home.
Well, I don't know how they felt, but I did care about them.
Didn't you tell your friends, like we saw in messages last week, that once the girls graduated school, the two of you were going to leave the country?
I never saw no text like that.
How about traveling once the girls finished school?
I never saw any text like that either.
You didn't? You didn't see that last week when I showed you Michael Spence and
I didn't
your
see anything
message
about-
to Run Ray?
I didn't see
Did you
anything.
already forget it from Friday? It's hard to keep lies straight when you tell so many of them, right?
Objection argument.
Sustained.
Are you finding it difficult to keep your stories straight?
You're asking 4 questions at a time. When I try to answer, you cut me off.
Objection, non-responsive, move to strike.
Stricken.
Again,
One
are
more
you
time.
finding it hard to keep all of your stories straight?
It's argument.
Sustained.
How many different stories would you venture you've told since your first interview with Monica's lawyers? How many? Give us an estimate.
2,
Okay.
maybe?
Maybe?
Yeah, maybe 2, without thinking too hard.
One being the letter, right?
1 being the letter.
How long would you say it took you to write that letter? I think it's 7 pages, front and back, handwritten.
A day.
A full day.
A day.
So did you spend a lot of time thinking about what you were going to say in that letter?
I did.
And during the time that you spent that entire day writing this letter, did you think about all of the lies that you were telling Monica's lawyers?
I was thinking about what I'm writing in the letter.
The lies, right?
Whatever I was writing in the letter.
Well, you agreed last week that everything you wrote in the letter was a lie.
Not everything, but
Which part was true?
I got to look at the letter.
We'll do that.
All right.
Approximately how many lies would you say you told in that letter?
I don't know. I can't.
Your Honor, that's right.
It's overall.
I haven't. I got to count.
Give me an estimate.
I don't have. I'm not giving an estimate because I don't know.
10?
I don't know.
50?
I don't know.
100?
That's argumentative, Your Honor.
It's overall.
I don't know. I have to see the letter.
200?
I don't know. I have to see the letter.
How about 360?
I don't know. I have to see the letter.
You also testified last week that you and Monica went to Las Vegas before you murdered Fabio. When was that?
This is 8 to 10 years ago. I don't remember all these dates and times, and
It
I
was
don't.
8, not 10.
8, 10.
That
I
was
don't
your
remember.
testimony that
I
last
don't
week, right?
remember
You told this jury
when.
that you and Monica went to Vegas before the murder. So my question to you is, when? What month?
I'm going to guess May.
May.
I'm going to guess May.
Was that a time when Fabio was out of town?
No, it's going to have to be
Why would it have to be?
because it's usually the only time she could get away.
And where did the two of you stay when you went in May? That would have been 2016. Where did the two of you stay?
And one of the casinos, I don't remember the name exactly.
You don't remember.
I don't remember the name of the casino, so it was one of the casinos.
Who paid?
I believe it must have been her, but I'm not sure. I think it was her. I'm pretty sure it was her.
And what did the two of you do while you were there? Was it just the two of you?
Just the two of us.
Okay. And what did the two of you do?
Restaurant.
Such as what?
I don't remember. I don't remember, but it went to the restaurant.
Which restaurant?
I don't remember.
What else did you do besides going to a restaurant in May of 2016 before Fabio's murder?
I believed we gambled someplace.
Okay. Where was that?
At one of the casinos whatever casino we were staying at. I just don't remember which one it was, but I remember because I don't know how to gamble, so I just kind of watched her.
And did you give her money to gamble with?
Yeah.
Where did that money come from?
From my revenues, whatever I got it from.
How much money do you think you had in your accounts at Chase back in 2016?
I don't know. I pulled most of it out. I don't keep money in banks if I can avoid it. I pull
So
most
where
of
would
it
you
out.
keep it? Under your pillow?
No pillow.
If you didn't keep money in banks, why did you have numerous Chase accounts?
I said I didn't like keeping money in banks. I didn't say I didn't have them.
So you just had bank accounts just for the sake of having them.
Yeah, you need bank accounts to live sometimes.
But you didn't put money in them. So where would you keep your money?
Well, I did put money in them, but I would take it back out again eventually.
eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
So
Keeping,
how much money do you think you had in all of your Chase accounts together back in 2016?
I have no idea. I really don't.
Approximately.
I don't know.
$1,000?
That's the answer, Your Honor.
Total.
I don't know.
How about like $40?
Okay, I don't know.
You don't remember anything about how much money you had in your bank accounts?
I don't. I really don't. It's a long time ago.
Understood. But you told us last week about all of the details you remembered from the day of the murder, even though you couldn't remember the date. You remember that?
Correct.
So is that because you committed those details to memory as opposed to everything else?
No, it's pretty much a traumatic experience for everybody concerned. That's something I could remember.
I see. We'll talk about that as well.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. That'd be sustained.
You also said that you used the same phone with her, meaning Monica. Which phone was that?
The Samsung.
Which one? You had three.
The 6, I believe it was.
The S6. Is that what you're saying?
I believe it was the 6.
Okay. And what did you do with that phone?
It got lost.
It got lost.
It got lost.
And because it got lost, you got another one from Al Birdsong, right?
Wrong.
Okay, so explain to us.
I lost the phone. I got a new one.
Okay. So when did you get the phone from Al Birdsong?
Objection. Fact found in evidence.
Overruled.
Way before I met her.
Before you met Monica.
Yeah.
Do you know what year the essay came out?
I guess 2016, 17.
Would it surprise you to know it would have been after the murder?
17. Okay.
So it wasn't way before you met Monica, because you told us you met Monica in 2015, and within a couple of weeks.
I think you're missing your facts here, because the 8 was not Al's phone. It was mine.
That you got from Al. We talked about that last week, remember?
No, I had got another phone from Al. It was not the 8.
Oh, I see.
You get your
Okay.
facts messed up again.
Okay. I'm the one with the facts messed up.
Objection, Your Honor. That's not a question.
It's argumentative, sustained on that.
And when you said that the phone got lost, the S6, did it get lost the same way that your computer got lost?
Yes. You know, I don't know, because the 6 I thought I lost, but it might have got stolen, and the computer got stolen.
The computer was stolen.
Yeah,
Where was it stolen from?
from my truck.
And did you report that to the police?
No,
Why not?
there's no need to.
Do you remember in a conversation with Monica after your arrest where she asked you if you had gotten rid of your computer? Do you remember that conversation?
I don't.
Do you remember telling her that it was gone? Does that ring a bell?
No.
Do you remember her asking you if it was gone?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Do you remember telling her it was just a coincidence that it happened to break the day before, and so you got rid of it? Remember that?
No.
So, which would be the fact that your computer was stolen, or the fact that you made it gone by getting rid of it?
Objection is argumentative.
It's overruled.
Well, when it's in my truck and then it disappears, I guess that would be stolen, if I don't know where it is.
But that's not the story you told Monica.
Now, what I tell her is something different.
Oh, I see. So you lied to her also?
On that occasion, yeah.
On numerous occasions.
I don't know about all that.
So when you said that you used the same phone with your conversations with Monica, what's the phone number?
The 272 number.
1093?
Correct.
Did you switch the SIM card between your Samsungs?
No. Mm-mm.
No.
No.
So how is it that you had two different phones with the same phone number?
I don't even think that's doable.
Okay. At any point in time, did you transfer your number to a different phone?
From the 6 to the 8.
Okay. How about from the S4 to the 8?
Yeah, I mean, that was before her time. Yeah, probably. I got a new phone.
So you didn't use the Samsung S4 with Monica?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Wrong?
I'm not sure. It's a long time ago. I don't remember.
The Samsung S4 was found, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Okay. You also told us that you were only at the Sementilli home once or twice. Do you remember that before the murder? That's what you told this jury last week.
I'm kind of tired, so I'm trying to keep up with you.
Well, today's a
I think
fresh
so.
day, right?
For you, not for me. I'm tired.
Okay.
So, I probably did.
Probably did what?
Said what you said for a couple of times to go to our house. 1 or 2 times.
Could it be more than that?
Might have been. Might have been.
So when you answered a question, and as you said, you are here testifying, so it would be an official statement.
Correct.
Right? It would be important that the answers that you give are accurate, right? Because you don't want to mislead these people, right?
Exactly.
So were you there only once or twice, or were you there numerous times?
You know what? Since you want accuracy, I can't give you an exact number anymore because I can't be accurate.
You have an estimate?
No, I can't because I need to be accurate because I don't want you to keep calling me a liar because I'm getting estimates.
Okay. Was one of the times that you were at the Sementilli house the day that Monica met with the company to install the new surveillance system on the house?
Was I there, you're asking me?
Yep.
I don't remember that. I really don't.
So you may have been?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so.
If I were to tell you that your phone connected to the Sementilli Wi-Fi that day, around 8 o'clock in the morning on June 28th, does that help you remember?
No.
I think you also told us that you and Monica went out to various places, bars, restaurants, and I think your words were you did everything together. Remember that last week?
I remember saying that.
Did you also take her to Los Angeles to meet some of your friends?
I'm sure I did. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm sure I did. Eventually, I introduced her to somebody.
Do you remember telling Ricardo and Sheila that you introduced her to some of your friends down in South LA and she really liked them?
I don't remember that.
Did you ever take her to any friends' birthday parties?
I don't remember if I did or not.
How about Roger Brown's?
His birthday party? I remember taking her to a El Presidente. I can't remember if it was his birthday party or not. It was some kind of get-together, but I can't remember if it was his birthday.
Do you remember taking Monica to Roger Brown's birthday party in 2016 and introducing her to him as Madonna?
It could have been. It could have been.
Do you remember having Roger take you to a Starbucks in the Glendale area and meeting up again with Monica, who once again you introduced as Madonna?
I can't remember because I've done a lot. I've been everywhere, so I can't remember.
You were everywhere.
I've been a lot of places.
Okay. And I think you actually told us last week, in terms of being a lot of places, that the night of the murder, after you were done with cleaning up, getting rid of clothing, changing around the rental car where it was parked, dumping the Porsche, going to work, and various other things, that you drove around the San Fernando Valley all night long to keep an eye out. Remember that?
I do.
And so how did driving around 260 square miles help you keep an eye out?
Staying on the move, that's all.
Staying on the move.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Because this crime has just been committed by me, so I'm staying on the move.
Okay, but you didn't know that anything would connect you to the crime. In fact, you told numerous people you didn't do it, and there was no evidence connecting you to the crime, even after your arrest, right?
Objection, that's compound.
So rule.
Which part do you want me to answer again?
All
Which
of
part?
it.
All right. So, yes, I tell people that I didn't do it because I didn't want to get turned in that night.
So again, more lies,
Of course.
including to friends.
Of course.
Okay. And what about the other part?
Which is
How
remind me.
would anybody know the night of the murder that you were the one that committed the crime?
Well, just in case they had a camp.
Speculation.
Yes, farm sustained.
Why did you think it was necessary to be on the move?
Just in case they caught a camera on me or something. And, you know, it's a guilty conscience. That's all. It's a guilty conscience kept me on the move.
Conscience.
Yes.
How to spell conscience?
No, not right now.
Irrelevant.
It's argumentative to stand on that ground.
You told this jury last week that you're very smart. Do you remember that?
Most of the time.
You also told the jury last week that you're a prize. Remember that?
I describe myself as that another a certain term, but no, I'm not.
You also told the jury last week that sometime in the middle of 2016, you had an abstract idea about killing Fabio Sementilli. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you said, well, what if it comes to that? Why in the middle of 2016 did you think, what if it comes to that, in terms of committing a murder?
The thought occurred to me when I was spending time with Monica, that every time I was with her and he called her page, she panicked.
She panicked.
Yeah.
So when she panicked, did she go running straight home?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. What about the time when Fabio was out of town on business, and late at night he called to say good night to her, and after he called to say good night, she went running over to your house? Wouldn't that be the opposite?
Objection, Your Honor. No foundation is argumentative.
That has nothing to do with
Excuse
me.
me. So rule.
That has nothing
It
to
has
do with me.
nothing to do with you.
No.
So after the murder, you went to stay, rather than driving around the San Fernando Valley all night and through the next day where you slept in your car, with someone named LaShane Holmes, right?
So, yes.
So again, does that refresh your recollection that rather than driving around the valley to keep an eye out or to stay on the move, you actually went and stayed with your friend LaShane, right?
I don't think I went there that night. I don't think.
If I were to tell you that forensic evidence, meaning cell tower data, puts you there,
Okay.
and that was testified to in this trial, that you were there for a couple of nights, does that refresh your recollection?
Okay, yeah.
So when you told this jury that you stayed out driving around all night on the night of January 23rd, you were not truthful with them, correct? Because again, it's an official statement.
Well, I'm not 100% accurate on it, no.
So you're
But I
just-
was driving around all night.
Driving around, but you stayed at someone's house.
I just don't remember what day it was. I thought it was a Friday or something, or a Thursday or something.
Didn't you tell us last week you knew it was a Monday? That was the one thing you remembered?
I do. I remember it was a Monday when this thing happened.
So is it a Monday, or is it a Thursday, or is it a Friday? Which is it now?
Well, I guess I better start being really accurate. So,
You're testifying under oath, sir.
I know. I'm trying to. You keep asking me for estimates and everything else. I'm trying to answer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did drive around, and I drove around the valley most of the. I'm thinking most of the night. So,
Did you go stay at LaShane's home the next night too?
I don't know. I know I stayed there. I just don't know what night it was.
And it was after the murder, right?
Yes. Yes.
And what was the purpose of going to stay with LaShane?
I felt kind of safe there
Why?
because it's out of San Fernando Valley.
Okay. So again, you didn't drive around for 2 nights sleeping in your car. You actually stayed at a place where you felt safe, right?
Overruled.
Yeah, I did. I drove around. I had stayed there. One or two of those nights or whatever. I did go there.
And how do you know LaShane?
I did time with LaShane.
He's also a registered sex offender, right?
Yes.
Irrelevant.
Overruled.
Right?
Yes.
And you kept papers relating to your case as well as LaShane's case at a storage facility in Las Vegas, right?
I don't know about it. I don't know about his, but I know I had mine over there.
Why would you also have LaShane's?
I kept.
Sustained.
Did you also have LaShane's paperwork from his sex case?
I don't know. I don't know if I did, but I had his property.
You had his property.
Some of it.
Oh, so you do remember that now.
I had some of his property, but I don't know about his case.
Now, you also testified last week that you had an extra phone that you threw away. Would that have been a burner phone?
An extra phone. You mean not my 1072 number or 1093 number? That
This
one?
was what you testified to. I have no idea.
Well, I want to be accurate because I want to make sure I get
You
every
said,
answer right.
I had a throwaway extra phone.
Okay, I did.
Would that be a burner phone?
Yes,
Under a number and a name and address that doesn't connect to you?
correct.
And that was at the time of the murder?
Correct.
How many phones did you have at the time of the murder?
Maybe, I don't know, no guessing. I can't be accurate on that.
At least 3?
I can't be accurate. I don't want you calling me a liar, so I can't really be accurate.
At least 4?
I can't be accurate on that. It's
What's
not
an
4.
estimate?
Not 4.
Okay.
Sure, not 4.
So 3 or under?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just don't want to. I want to give you an accurate answer though. But it's not that many. I didn't have that many.
Not as many as 3?
Not as many as 4.
So you remember in your head that detail? That
I know it
was
wasn't
3
that
or
many.
under?
Yeah, I know it wasn't that many.
Now, in the middle of 2016, when you said you started having a thought about killing Fabio Sementilli, did you send an ATM card to your best friend's son, Chris Austin, to purchase a plane ticket to come to LA?
I sent him an ATM card
And your PIN
and my PIN.
to purchase a flight to come to Los Angeles. Remember that?
I don't remember that. I sent him an ATM and a PIN number for him to use for whatever was going to be needed, whether he needed money or for anything.
Do you remember picking him up at the airport in July of 2016?
I don't remember.
Do you remember driving with him to Las Vegas?
I do remember that.
So, do you remember now, again, sending him your ATM card, talking to him about buying a flight from, at that point, Alaska to LAX, where you then picked him up?
I remember sending him an ATM card with a PIN number with the intent for him to use that card for any time it was needed.
So you're saying he just showed up at LAX and by coincidence you just happened to be there at the curb?
No. No.
There would have been a plan, right?
Well, if I picked him up, it would have been.
Okay. And you said you do remember that now.
I remember going to Vegas with him. That's what you asked me about that. I
So-
totally didn't remember.
He would have had to fly in, right?
Correct.
He didn't walk from Alaska, right?
It's argumentative.
He flew in from Alaska based on money you gave him, correct?
If he used the money for that, yes.
Isn't that what you intended?
I intended to have him have an ATM card.
You still friends with his father?
I haven't talked to his father in a while.
Would it be safe to say after ruining his son's life that that relationship is over?
Objection argumentative.
Sustained.
You're no longer friends with his father, correct?
I haven't talked to the man.
You said he was your best friend.
Yes.
And so, again, he was your best friend, and you used his son, who you told us was loyal to you, and who you trusted implicitly, to commit a murder. Right?
Yes.
So again, in July of 2016, did you have a conversation with Chris Austin asking him to fly into LA so the two of you could drive up to Las Vegas for a family meeting at Al Birdsong's?
I remember telling him that you should come down, that we should make sure I get this absolutely right. I remember telling him to come down. We need to talk about a couple of things.
Including going to Las Vegas to stay with Al, right?
I don't know if that was on the plan until later, or I don't remember that exactly, because I don't want you to hold me to that.
Okay.
I can't remember that.
Did the two of you go together in a rental car to Las Vegas
Yes.
to stay with Al Birdsong in July of 2016?
Yes.
And did you tell Chris Austin that you were going to meet up with Monica there because she was going to be there with her husband?
Yes.
Okay. And is it now coming back to you a little bit?
I'm with you. I remember these parts. I remember.
Okay. So the two of you went and stayed with Al Birdsong, correct?
Yes.
You had a family meeting. Yes?
We all met.
And did you refer to that as a family meeting? Yes
I
or
don't-
no?
I don't remember. I
So
don't-
you've never referred to your visits to Al Birdsong's house with Chris Austin as a family meeting? Is that what you're saying?
I don't remember calling him that, but we just met.
Okay. And how many days did you and Austin stay in Las Vegas with Al?
I have no idea.
1 day? More than 1 day?
I don't want to be called a liar again. I can't give you an exact account.
Okay. So you were there for some period of time? Yes?
Some period of time.
Okay. And while you were there in July, did you talk to Austin and Al about murdering Fabio Sementilli?
No,
You did not.
I didn't say I'm going to murder him.
Did you talk to them, about murdering Fabio Sementilli?
No,
Did you show Chris Austin a knife while you were there?
I did later.
while you were in Las Vegas?
Yep.
So, again, did you and Chris Austin and Al Birdsong have a conversation about killing Fabio Sementilli in which you showed him a knife?
Al was not included in that conversation.
Okay, so it was at Birdsong's, but Al wasn't included.
Correct.
Got it. Did you and Chris Austin have a conversation where you told him at Al Birdsong's house that you were planning on murdering Fabio Sementilli?
I said the thought was coming up.
So you did have such a conversation.
Not with Al.
Okay. And you showed Chris Austin this knife, correct?
Eventually.
Okay. Again, during this same trip, right?
I'm pretty sure.
And did you and Chris Austin go over to the Aria where you knew Monica was staying in order to introduce him to Monica?
I had no intention on letting him see Monica there.
Objection, move to strike, non-responsive.
Second.
Again, did you take Chris Austin to the Aria
We went to the Aria.
where you knew Monica was staying, right?
If that was the Aria, yeah.
Well, you knew where Monica was staying, right? She sent you,
Objection, yes, and then
There's no answer.
Yes.
she sent you an email, right?
I don't know about the email, but I knew.
She sent you an email with the travel arrangements for Las Vegas. Do you remember that?
I don't.
You don't.
I don't.
Showing you what's been marked previously as People's 216, the front page. Do you see the subject line here?
I do.
Do you recognize Monica's email address?
No, now I do.
That's the one you got emails from her often, right?
I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say often, but I did get emails from that email every now and again.
You knew that was Monica's email, right? You're not trying to tell the jury you didn't know her email address, are you?
I didn't say that.
Overruled.
I didn't say that.
So you do recognize this as her email address?
I just said I do.
Okay. See the date there? July 18th, 2016? A couple
Yes.
minutes before 7 p.m.?
I see it.
Whose email is this? Diane at Arball1.
It's one of my emails.
And do you see that this is an email that was forwarded from Fabio Sementilli to his wife?
Okay.
Do you see that?
That's what it says.
And below that, do you see the confirmation that Monica and Fabio were going to be staying at the Aria during this trip?
I see it.
At the Sky Suites. This was sent to you, right?
I don't remember seeing this, but okay. But I already knew I knew where he was going.
You don't remember this email?
I don't. I'm
In your inbox?
just almost 10 years ago. I don't remember all these details like this. You've been studying this for months. I haven't seen any of this.
But you were asking for it, so I'm showing you, right?
You're showing me.
Okay. And you see that it tells Monica and Fabio where they're staying at the Aria in the Sky Suites. You see that?
I see it.
And you see on the second page, there's even a map of where the events are to take place at the hotel. See that?
I see it.
And even a path has been written in by somebody by hand with an arrow as to a meeting place. Do you see that?
I see the arrow, and I see something.
And this was the same time that you went with Chris Austin, right, to the Aria, right?
Yes.
In fact, you have charges on your Chase account for the Aria during that trip, right?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't
let's look
remember.
at Exhibit 185. You have an account, you had a checking account at JP Morgan Chase, correct?
Yes.
What's your middle name?
Lewis.
See here, July 25th, Enterprise Rent-A-Car from Canoga Park.
I see
that?
it.
See the date of the charge, July 22nd and 23rd.
I see it.
Okay. And do you see after that a charge on the 25th at the Chevron station in Primm, Nevada?
I see it.
That's on the way to Las Vegas from California, right?
It has to be.
You've made that trip numerous times, right?
Numerous times.
And then do you see just below it a purchase on the 25th at Smith's? It was made on the 24th, posted on the 25th at Smith's Food and Drug. You see that?
I do.
Do you see beneath that cash being removed from a non-ATM Chase on the 24th of July? Do you see that?
I do.
That ATM located at the Aria. You see that?
I do.
And then just beneath that, do you see a desert pit stop on July 27th in Las Vegas?
I do.
And then returning the Enterprise rental car at some point after the 26th, correct? So you had it for several days, right?
It appears so.
Does that refresh your recollection about you and, bless you, Chris Austin going to the Aria where you said you were not going to let him have any contact with Monica?
And that doesn't mean she has to have contact with him. That
Okay.
doesn't mean anything. But yeah, it was there.
So we had testimony about a week and a half ago from a geolocation expert who put you, Monica, and Chris Austin together at the Aria. Does that ring any bells to you?
And this states the evidence.
Overruled.
Absolutely not.
And just before you went to meet up with Monica, she called you to tell you where she was. Isn't that right?
I don't remember.
So if she called you just before the phone records show the three of you together at the Aria, you don't remember what that would have been about.
Monica, unless I don't know something I don't already know, they never met in the Aria.
Okay. But you did, right?
I
You met with her.
Yeah, I did.
Because while her husband was busy during the day, once again, she was free to meet with you, right?
Probably for like a minute or two,
A minute or two.
maybe.
How many of the days while you were in Las Vegas with Chris Austin and Al Birdsong did you meet up with Monica?
I really don't remember the exact times and how many times it was. I don't know how many times exactly it was.
So you and Chris Austin didn't meet up with Monica in order to set up a plan to kill Fabio.
No.
Why do you say that with such surety in your voice, since that's what you did shortly thereafter?
Sustain.
So did you meet up with Monica each of the days that she was in Las Vegas while she was on this trip with Fabio?
My memory only serves me that I remember seeing her twice, two separate days. That is all I can remember.
Okay. And not with Chris Austin.
Never with Chris Austin.
So if the phone records put the three of you together, he would have been close by but not with you?
Objection, that misstates the evidence.
Overruled.
If he was at a bar, because I remember going to meet Monica by some slot machines. I told him to stay at the bar. I'll be back. And I wanted to talk to her quickly just to say hello, whatever. But she said she was doing her host thing, whatever she was doing.
So now you remember the details that actually Austin was with you at the Aria, but he was at a bar.
He was at the bar someplace
in the
else.
Aria.
And there, yeah, wherever he was over there away from her.
Okay. And she was at a slot machine.
No, she was at some lounge and she met me by a slot machine.
Okay. Close to where Austin was.
And I don't think they saw each other, not at all. They couldn't have seen each other. It was a good distance.
Well, nevertheless, if they didn't see each other, when you came back after that trip with Austin from Las Vegas, you took him to LA Fitness and he met Monica. You introduced them, right?
I introduced him to everybody. So if she was there,
right?
if she was there, he got introduced. If she was there.
And he played racquetball with Monica, right?
I don't remember.
Is that a possibility?
I don't remember.
Was he playing racquetball with various people at the gym that day?
I don't even remember him playing racquetball because he sucked at racquetball.
Okay. So were you playing racquetball that day at LA Fitness?
Most likely if I was there, but I hate to say I did and you said I didn't, so I don't remember either. But chances are I did if I was there.
And so what would Chris Austin do? Just sit there watching you?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember that day going out for lunch with Austin and some of the other individuals from the racquetball group?
I don't remember.
Is that a possibility?
I just don't remember. Anything's possible.
And later that night, isn't it true that you took Chris Austin with you and went over to Monica's house?
Now that is possible. That is possible.
And the three of you had pizza together. Remember that?
I don't remember the pizza part.
So what would have been your purpose of taking Chris Austin over to the Sementilli home that night when she came back from Las Vegas while her husband was still there working?
I don't even know if he was working. I have no idea if he's working or not. If I saw her,
You remember doing that, don't you? You
vaguely,
were there for several hours. Remember that?
vaguely. If I was there for several hours, that means he wasn't there.
Remember showing him around the house?
No, I don't.
You remember Monica showing him the patio area?
Could be. I don't.
You remember telling him that this is the area where Fabio always liked to hang out?
I don't remember saying that.
Do you remember leaving Chris to watch television in the living room while you and Monica went back into the bedroom to have sex? Does that ring a bell?
No, I don't remember that, but I'm sure something like that would happen.
Okay. So you don't remember, but you're sure it happened?
No, I said it probably would have happened. It's possible.
And in which case, if it was probable or possible, whichever word you use, that you and Chris Austin went to Monica's. So they clearly met, right?
I remember bringing him with me for some reason to go to the house, but it wasn't for that.
For
But I
what?
do-
To have dinner?
No, for you're saying to plan a murder. It had nothing to do with that.
Well, you already told us.
But it wasn't. That's what it was for.
You already told us that just before this, you were in Las Vegas with Chris Austin where you talked to him about planning a murder and showed him a knife.
That wasn't the plan, though, to go there that day, if I remember right. It wasn't for that. I can't even remember why I went up there for, but it wasn't that. I can't remember what it was for.
But again, just prior to going to the Sementilli home with Austin, you had talked to him, again, as you told us, in Las Vegas, same period of time here, last week in July of 2016, where you brought a knife with you to Las Vegas, picked him up at the airport, and discussed with him murdering Fabio Sementilli.
Objection, since facts not in evidence.
Overruled.
Drove.
There was a lot of questions in that one statement, so,
Break it down. Go ahead.
I'm tired, so you gotta take it slow.
You told us you went to Las Vegas,
Okay?
picked Austin up at the airport.
Yes.
Right? We finally got to that.
Yes?
Planned with him that he should come out so you guys could go to Vegas, right?
That was not the plan, but it was one of the plans that we did along the way.
Well,
The
it
plan.
wound up being the plan, right?
I'm trying to
Look
answer you.
here at this exhibit, right?
The plan was for me and him to get together to talk about stuff that was going on other than a murder.
Except you talked to him about a murder, meaning the murder.
Eventually, I brought it up to him.
That was the reason for having him come out, right? So you could discuss the murder and see whether or not he'd be on board.
Eventually, that would come to it.
That was the whole point, right? I mean, that's what you told the defense team, right? In one of your 2 interviews?
That was not the main reason,
Okay.
but it was a reason.
Okay. All right. So the 2 of you then drive to Las Vegas to stay with Al, right?
Yes?
And you show him the knife, right?
Okay?
Isn't that what you told us?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Where'd you buy that knife, by the way? The one you brought with you to Vegas to show
I
to
believe
Austin.
I believe it was a Walmart.
And when you showed him the knife, he said what?
He didn't say anything.
He just listened.
Just listened,
You did all the talking.
for the most part.
And you told him in July of 2016, while you were in Las Vegas, as Monica and her husband were, that you were planning on killing Monica's husband, right?
I said it may come to that.
Okay. Well, you had gone beyond may come to that. You already purchased a knife.
Yeah, but I'm not going to
And
do
now
anything.
you're talking to your potential co-conspirator
Yeah, but
about
I'm not
murder, right?
But I'm not going to do anything with all those charges on there. There was no way I was going to do anything in Vegas, not with all those cameras. There's
That
no
was
way.
my question, sir.
Okay. So it's,
It had gone
Go again.
beyond just a thought at this point. You had purchased a knife,
yeah, it's just to see what he's going to do. If he's going to back down.
okay? And so you show Chris Austin the knife, and he says nothing,
He's just listening.
okay? And so after you talk with him about the fact that you are planning to murder your girlfriend's husband,
Object this argument that misstates the evidence.
This question's not done yet.
the 2 of you then go to the Aria to meet with your girlfriend, right?
Overruled.
Right?
No, I do. He doesn't meet her because I don't want him to meet her.
Okay. But he comes with you, right?
He's in the car with me.
And you already told us he came in, or is that going to change now?
Has nothing changed.
Yeah, that's argument.
So he goes in with you, yes?
Goes in Aria.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And where does he go?
He's all over the place.
I thought you said he was at a bar.
From the time you told me where I met her, he was at a bar, but he didn't move around.
Okay.
You expect him to be in the bar the whole time?
And then you and Monica meet up, right?
At some point.
Same time. While he's in the bar, you told us. Or wandering around somewhere.
Well, he's supposed to have been at the bar. He could have been anywhere, but he wasn't with me. But he was supposed to have been at the bar.
But he's at the same location as you.
Yes.
And you have a conversation with Monica, right, while you're there. You told us 2 days, you recall at this point, right?
I had some type of communication with her.
Where you then told her, we're good. I got a guy to help me to be the lookout, right?
You're trying to feed this jury some crap. No.
Yeah, I'm feeding them
Yeah,
crap.
you are.
Okay. Didn't you have that conversation with her?
No.
Okay. So you just went there just to say hi,
Pretty much.
which you could have done by phone.
Could have, but I wanted to see her.
Okay. And then you go back again, as you said, another one of the days that you're there, right?
I'm sure I did.
Okay.
'Cause I remember
Bring
seeing her
Austin
the other
again?
day. No.
Left
Did
him
not.
home this day.
Say again?
You left him home at Al's that day.
I
Is that
don't know
what you're
where he
saying?
was. I don't know.
So he might have been with you.
I don't want to guess anymore. No more guessing.
Okay. All right, so you go to Vegas, you come back from Vegas, and then you talked about how you wanted to keep them separate, but then you bring Austin to LA Fitness, right?
Yes.
And Monica's there, right?
I don't remember that.
Okay. And then after LA Fitness, later that night, you take Austin and you bring him to the Sementilli home. Show him around, right?
I take him with me because I can't remember why I showed up that day. I don't remember why.
To show him the layout of the house,
No,
right?
it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was something else. I just can't remember what it was, though. I really can't.
And you're there at the house, the Sementilli home, and you and Monica show him around, right?
No.
Show him the fancy pad.
I don't even know if she showed him around. I don't even remember. I really don't remember that. I mean, being that she's always a nice person, she probably did. So I don't know.
She probably did.
I don't know. I don't remember that though. I don't remember that happening. I remember him sitting on the couch watching TV while I was talking to her about something else.
Okay. So at least you remember now the fact that he is watching TV in the living room area?
Yeah.
Yeah? Eating some pizza?
Say again?
Eating pizza?
I don't remember what he ate. I really don't remember.
And then at some point you said it's probable that you and Monica went into the bedroom to have sex.
We went to the bedroom. I don't know about the sex part.
Okay. Didn't you tell us just,
It's
10 minutes ago?
Possible.
You probably were.
Probably
Went to the
possible.
bedroom to have
I'm not
sex?
sure. I didn't keep a running record of it. I'm sorry. I really didn't.
And then you told the jury on direct exam that in August or September you thought about the murder again, right? After all this planning went on between you and Austin in Las Vegas, right?
I'm sorry.
Overall.
It crossed my mind. I don't remember if I talked to him about it, but it crossed my mind because I really wasn't pushing it really hard at that point. I was just kind of like feeling it out.
Well, it more than crossed your mind because we talked about the fact that you had already purchased a knife. You had already showed it to Austin to see what his reaction was, you told the jury. You had already discussed who it was that you wanted to kill. And now you had taken him to the home, right? Where the victim lived, right? So it had gone way beyond just thinking about it. You were making plans, right?
But in September, I didn't push it any further. I left it alone. August, September, I really wasn't pushing it anymore. I wasn't really even in the forefront anymore.
Really? Not at
Really.
all.
It
So
really
you were
wasn't-
thinking
it really
maybe you
wasn't.
don't need to.
It was going on and off.
Okay. On and off that you were thinking about killing Fabio. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Do you remember on direct exam saying that you think that you also introduced Chris to Monica at the gym? Do you remember testifying to that on direct exam?
My memory's short. No, if I said it, I thought it.
And then you said you really started to plan the murder around the holidays. Remember that?
I did.
And then you said that you went to Las Vegas again for Thanksgiving, correct?
Yes.
Stayed with Al?
Yes.
and you had conversations with Al about things, just like you did in July of 2016, relating to what police would look for, right? You were pumping him for info.
Wasn't
If
pumping.
he committed a crime.
I wasn't
How to
pumping
get
for.
rid of evidence. Remember that?
I wasn't pumping him for info. I always listen. We just talk. It's just talk. Me and him.
Talk about things like murder and how to get rid of evidence?
No,
Really?
no.
Did you ever ask him about how to scrub a DVR?
How to scrub? No, I don't even know what scrubbing means.
Do you remember him telling you that you're not smart enough to do that? It's better if you just take the whole DVR. Do you remember that conversation?
Objection assumes facts, not an evidence.
Overruled.
No,
Remember that?
I don't remember that conversation.
You don't remember Al saying it would be way too difficult for you to figure that out. You should just take the DVR.
No.
All right. One moment.
Didn't you have a conversation with Al Birdsong about how to destroy evidence?
No, I don't. Not about strong evidence. No,
No.
no.
You didn't ask him about how to get rid of DNA.
No.
You didn't ask him about what type of chemicals or solutions would destroy DNA.
No.
You also told the jury last week that you needed someone to commit the crime for you so you could create an alibi. Do you remember that?
I do.
On the day of the murder, you went with Austin to commit the crime, right?
On the second time, yes.
The second time.
On the actual time I did that. The first time he was supposed to do it, he didn't.
Okay. The day you went to the Sementilli home for the second time after taking Austin there the first time during the summer of 2016. Do you have that date in your head?
No, I don't have the date in my head. I don't have the date. No.
Okay. Well, last week you told us that you went to the Sementilli home with Austin and you went through the elaborate story of the clothing and the rental. Do you remember all that?
That's argumentative.
Overruled.
The clothing and the rental. You mean this is on the murder itself, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Do you remember going
I lost
with
track of
Mr.
where you're going.
Austin to commit the crime at the Sementilli home?
In January. Is that the date we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
All right. Just making sure. Okay.
How does going with Austin to the crime scene create an alibi?
That day had passed already.
So you weren't interested in creating an alibi anymore at this
Not on that day, no.
Okay.
Well, at that moment, no, because I had to do this myself. But I was still going to try to create an alibi later.
How does creating an alibi after the time of the crime create an alibi?
Yeah, it's a useless attempt, but I had to try.
You also told this jury that you knew that Austin would be completely loyal to you and that he was the one person you could depend on that would be. Correct?
Yes.
And also, you said you knew that he would never talk to anybody or say anything about what had happened. Correct? That's why you picked him.
Yeah, I did.
Would you agree with me that Austin was somebody that looked up to you?
I agree.
Called you Unc for uncle?
I agree.
Had known you for decades?
Yes.
Was much younger than you?
Yes.
Had no criminal history?
Yes.
Knew that you would take care of him because you had told him that over and over and over. Right?
Correct.
He trusted you, just like you trusted him. Right?
Yes.
And you knew that Austin, because of his loyalty to you, would do whatever you asked him to do. Right?
For the most part.
Okay. Including murder. Right?
For the most, yes.
So it's not for the most part. It's to the farthest extreme one could think. Right?
For the most part.
What's for the most part? What would he not do if he was willing to commit murder of somebody he didn't even
I'm sure
know
there's
you?
something I could find if I talked to him, but yeah, that's another subject, right?
So he would do whatever you wanted him to do.
For the most part.
Okay. And so you took advantage of him, right?
To a degree.
To a degree? How
To
not?
a degree.
To what degree not?
To a degree. I did take advantage of him.
You told him you'd protect him, right?
Yes.
You told him you would take care of him, right?
Yes.
You used your relationship with his father to get him to be loyal to you and trust you, right?
I didn't use it. It just happened that way. I didn't use it.
It was just a coincidence.
No, I didn't use it.
You didn't use it.
It's just what you do with family.
Use them, take advantage of them.
No, it's not used. There's always there's a reason for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a reason for everything.
What was the reason why you decided to use and take advantage of Christopher Austin?
For
Because you knew he'd do whatever you asked.
true that. True.
True that, right?
True.
Your Honor, he didn't answer the original question, if he could.
I'm
And then when you decided that you were, as you said, going to pull the trigger and murder Fabio, you had conversations with Austin about having him come back to Los Angeles, correct?
The conversation didn't happen. Yes and yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And he purchased a plane ticket in January 12th, to come to Los Angeles again, right? Fly out from Alaska.
I don't know the exact date, but whatever date it was.
Does it sound about right to you?
I'll take your word for it on this one.
Okay. And you had been having numerous conversations with him in the month of January, correct? Setting this up.
No.
You hadn't.
No.
How many times do you think you had conversations with Austin about the timing of when the murder was going to take place? How many?
I kind of made it a point not to talk about this thing over the phone. So I don't think we talked about it over the phone.
So, did you fly up there then and have the conversation in person?
No.
So, how then did the two of you arrange the time when he was going to come to Los Angeles, if not by phone?
I just told him to come to L.A.
telepathy, or how? If you didn't use the phone,
No
and you
telepathy.
didn't go there,
No telepathy.
so
Didn't go there.
how did you tell him?
When he arrived.
How did you get him to come in January to commit the crime if you hadn't discussed it?
I hadn't discussed the crime. I discussed him coming through L.A., coming to L.A.
Okay. And he knew what he was coming to LA for, right?
Objection assumes facts not in evidence. Speculation.
Sustain on the second ground.
You told him why he was coming to Los Angeles, correct?
I didn't tell him exactly what was going to happen. No, but he probably figured it out on his own.
On his own, because it was the subject of conversation that you had had with him while you were in Las Vegas, and he remembered it from several months past?
No, he probably figured out something was going to happen. He never know with me. I always have something going on.
Like a murder.
Well, for that particular case, he didn't know if that was going to happen for sure or not.
Would you agree that the two of you had some conversation prior to him purchasing his ticket on January 12th of 2017?
You mean some type of conversation at all?
Well, he had to have some.
I'm asking so I can understand your question.
There had to have been some conversation for him to purchase a ticket and fly to Los Angeles,
There
right?
was a communication.
No, I'm going to overrule that.
There was a communication for him to come to L.A.
And again, did you have conversation during that same time period that you were talking to Austin about coming to Los Angeles with Al Birdsong?
With Al, no, absolutely
didn't?
not. Not with Al, no.
How about with Monica?
No.
No. So do you remember the dates between January 11th and January 13th where Austin purchased the ticket on the day in between January 12th?
I have no idea when he bought those tickets.
Showing you what's been marked previously as People's 243. Do you see on January 11th all of these communications back and forth between you and Monica, and then you and Austin? See that?
Yeah.
And then again, you and Monica, and you and Austin. See that?
Okay.
And then again, you and Monica. This is still just the 11th. See all these communications?
I do.
It's a lot of communications going back and forth between you and Monica at that time that Austin and you are talking, right?
We're always texting on Viber constantly.
Right.
That's nothing new.
This is January 11th, when it's been testified that there's a spike in communications between you and Austin, you and Monica, and you and Al.
Objection, that misstates the evidence.
It's overruled.
See all this? January 11th. See all this?
I do.
And then you and Austin have a conversation.
And that does happen.
And text.
That does happen. You do.
In the middle of all the conversations that you're having throughout the same time period with Monica, right?
That's argumentative.
Overruled.
I
We
mean,
can see it right here in the record, right? Starts in the morning, goes through the afternoon, and then into the evening hours. 10 o'clock at night, right?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. There's no calls to Austin in any of those time periods.
It's overruled.
You see this right here?
I see it there.
Voice. That's called a call.
I'm talking about in the evening.
You see that?
I see it. But a lot of
It's
people,
an 8-minute phone call. See that?
that's what it says on the paper.
Let's talk about the next page. Again, do you see the conversations continuing between you and Monica? Yes?
I see it.
And then, January 12th, again, another conversation between you and Austin, this time for 40 minutes. See that?
I do see that.
The The 12th is the day I'm going to show you in a minute where he purchased his ticket to come to Los Angeles. And then as soon as that conversation ends, again, more communications on the 12th between you and Monica. You see that? All day long once again on the 12th. You see that?
We text a lot. You said 15,000, you said. So that's nothing new.
Looking at the top of page 3. Again, communications. Now Monica's calling you from her house phone. 13-minute conversation. See that?
I see it.
And then you have a 14-minute conversation right after that with Austin. See that?
I do.
And then more communications on the 12th. See all that?
I do.
Between you and Monica. Yes?
Me and Monica talk all the time.
Yep. And then here, line 102, another conversation, 15 minutes.
Maybe he booked a flight and wanted to tell me. I don't know.
Uh-huh. And then another one. You see that?
I see it.
And then you go back, as soon as you hang up, you're back talking to Monica again. See that?
I talk to Monica all the time. This is nothing new.
And then Monica calls you again from the house phone during this same period of time. You see that?
I see it on the paper.
And then right after that, you have another conversation with Austin for 15 minutes. You see that?
I see it on the paper.
And here again, back to the Viber messages between you and Monica on the 12th. Again going on the entire day. You see that?
I do this every day. This is nothing new.
Well, what's new this day is that you're in the process of planning Austin to come in to help you with this murder of Monica's husband, right?
That's my intention.
Right? And here we are again on the 12th. Like I said, going back and forth between you and Monica, right? Into the late afternoon and evening of the 12th, right? Pretty much the entire day, right? See that?
That's what it says on the paper.
And then right beneath, line 162, you have a 17-minute conversation with Birdsong, right? And during that same conversation, you're still messaging with Monica, right? While you're still on the phone with Birdsong, right?
You're telling the story. I'm just listening to you.
You're not setting up the murder then, are you?
With them, no. With my head, yes.
Council, let me interrupt at this time. Let's take our morning recess for 15 minutes. The admonition applies. The defendant is present, all counsel present, jury and alternates are present. Mr. Baker is still under oath. People may continue.
All right, we were talking about the date of January 12th. Again, now we're looking at close to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. See all these communications that are going on pretty much the entire afternoon now. 5 o'clock, the entire evening, right? See that?
Yes, I see it.
And now, again, line 162, another conversation between you and Birdsong, over 17 minutes in length. Do you see that?
That's what it says.
And at the same time, you're messaging back and forth with Monica, right?
That's what it says.
And on page 5, again, continuing on January 12th, late afternoon into the evening hours. Now we're looking in the 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock hour. All the way to midnight, right? And through the early morning hours into the 13th, right? 11 minutes after midnight, so that would be now the 13th, right?
That's what it says.
Page 6. Again, just after midnight, back and forth with Monica, and then 4 in the morning, California time, a text between you and Austin, and then starting at 7:24 again, picking up between you and Monica again. See? Yes?
That's what it
Is
says.
this starting to refresh your recollection as to what would have been so critical during this 3-day period?
That's argumentative.
Overruled.
Not really.
Okay. And then again, line 222, a text message with Austin, 1:16 in the afternoon, and again, all afternoon back and forth with Monica, and then you have a call with her for 15 minutes. See that?
That's what it says.
3:15, and then back to vibering. Page 7. All afternoon again between you and Monica. See that? Till the evening again. Yes?
That's what it says.
Bless you. Page 8. The evening hours on the 13th. Just before 7 o'clock. All the way again to 11 o'clock at night, every minute. Again, page 9, calls right up until midnight. Back and forth between you and Monica, right? Correct?
That's what it says.
Page 10. Continuing on. The last page, page 11. Continuously until midnight on the 13th. See that?
That's what it says.
showing you what's been marked previously as People's 183, which is on a DVD. Recognize this as your name and your address where you were living at the time?
I do.
A transaction from your Chase account on January 12th, again, the same day that Austin buys his airline ticket. You transfer money from one account, right, into your checking account for $380, and on that same day, January 12th, Austin removes a portion of that money. You deposit $380, he removes $303 while he's in Anchorage, right? From your ATM.
That's what it says.
So clearly, it would indicate you're talking about this trip, correct?
No.
Okay. Looking at Exhibit 183. See here, you have a negative balance in this account. See that?
I do.
And then a bunch of purchases, like we talked about before, Cho-Cho-Sen. Right? We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah. How do I got a negative account still purchasing? I don't get it.
This is your statement from December 9th of 2016 through January 10th of 2017. See that?
I do. That's what it says.
Here's the next page. This is a statement from January 11th of 2017 to February 8th of 2017. So your balance negative $140 here, right? Page 3 of 183. This one's February 9th of 2017 to March 8th of 2017. You've got about $44, it looks like, in your account, right? Right?
That's what it says.
And then showing you People's 258, Christopher Austin's credit union account. If we look down here, for the date of January 12th, a ticket for $179.30. See that? On January 12th?
That's what it says.
Does that remind you what all of these back and forth conversations would have been between you and Austin, you and Birdsong, and you and Monica during that time period when you're moving money around and Austin is withdrawing money for his plane ticket that he purchases on January 12th to come to LA?
If you're trying to say that everybody was conspiring, no, it's not true.
Okay. So how did you know during the time that you're having Austin come down when he's buying his ticket on January 12th, where Fabio Sementilli would be at the end of the month so that you could kill him?
I wouldn't know exactly. I wouldn't know. I can't remember why yet. I know he was in L.A. He was in L.A. That's all I do remember.
Well, this is weeks before.
Oh, okay, okay.
right? That's what we just looked at.
Objection, Your Honor, those were days before, not weeks before.
So ruled.
January 12th is approximately 2 weeks before January 23rd.
Okay.
Weeks before.
All right.
How did you know where Fabio Sementilli would be 2 weeks out?
I had no idea.
Okay. You were going to need some inside information in order to figure that out, right?
If I was to actually do it like that, I would. But
But you did. Right?
the only way I could know that, it's not inside, it's just probably general information. Through
So from
conversation.
general information, you knew that Fabio Sementilli would be in town 2 weeks out.
Most likely, he was probably in town.
Well, you had to have known that before you went through this whole back and forth in order to get Austin to come out and buy his plane ticket.
I probably picked up on the information. Probably.
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 And do you remember also telling Austin that you knew that Fabio Sementilli was going to be on a trip at the end of January, and so you had to get it done before he left? Do you remember that conversation with Austin?
No, I don't.
So if Austin said you told him about this trip coming up at the end of January that Fabio was going to be traveling on for business, he would have just been lucky in making a guess, or a coincidence, or how would that have come
I
about?
have no idea.
So if his source of information wasn't you, where would he have gotten such information?
I have no idea.
So maybe you're saying just a lucky guess?
I'm not even going to within sight.
You can see what?
The strip mall, the parking lot.
Okay. So somewhere within sight, you let Chris Austin out.
Yes.
Okay. And as you've said, you've already described the Porsche, right? You've shown him a photo of Fabio. And what do you tell him to do?
It goes without saying. I don't have to say anything.
So he just knew all on his own what to do when he got there.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you have a conversation with him about what he was supposed to do when the two of you got to the strip mall? Again, when did you have that conversation so the two of you would be on the same page?
When he got there to L.A., we had started this discussion about how I was going to do this. And I just said I needed to wait for an opportunity to arise.
And what was the discussion the two of you had about the opportunity?
I had to wait for the opportunity, and I had to listen to find information. I didn't tell him that. I knew that. I told him, I said, well, I'm waiting for information to come in, and that's it.
Waiting for information to come in.
Yeah, so to him, it sounded...
From Monica?
From whoever. I didn't tell him where.
Okay.
I said for information to come in. But
And so once information came in, then what did you tell him he was supposed to do?
well, I told him if he's going to strike, you got to, I told him how to do it.
What do you mean? How to do it?
How to commit a murder with a knife.
Okay.
And to make it quick.
10-9 him. Tell me what you told him.
You have to cut for the neck.
Go for the neck.
You have to make it quick.
Okay. So you told Austin to go for the neck. Is that right?
That's what I told him. Make it quick. Try to make it as painless as possible. And we get out of there.
And did you give him anything?
Yeah, he had the knife I gave him.
What knife did you give him?
It was the smaller one.
What smaller knife?
The one that was used later.
Which one?
The one that was used for the murder.
Which one? Describe it.
It was 8 inches long. It was a small hunting knife.
Okay. You gave him a small hunting knife.
Yes.
Is this the same knife that you brought with you when you and Austin went to Las Vegas in July of 2016 to stay at Al Birdsong's and meet up with Monica?
No.
It's a different knife.
Yeah.
Where did you get this knife?
This one was like Target or something. I think it was Target or Walmart.
Target or Walmart?
Yeah, I can't remember which one.
Where was the second knife?
That was the one that was used for the strip mall and the actual murder. The other knife was gone. I got rid of it because it was gaudy. It was just for show.
You got rid of the July knife
Yes.
before Austin came to Los Angeles in January.
Yes.
Okay. So you gave him a second knife, not the one you had showed him in July.
Correct.
Another knife that you had purchased, again, either at Walmart or you said Target.
Correct.
Okay. And you told him to hit Fabio in the neck.
Yes.
Okay. And you let him out at the strip mall?
Down the street.
Down the street.
Yeah. I can still see everything from a distance.
Okay. Would you have binoculars, special kinds of glasses?
No.
What are you using to be able to see in the strip mall?
Nothing.
And so how far away are you from the strip mall when you let him out?
I don't have the exact distance.
Give us an estimate.
I don't want to do that. I might be
Well,
too
you're a
off.
military guy, so you know things like that, right?
Not in here. I'm not. Not in here. My military days are over.
Okay. So you let him out somewhere, right?
Close enough for him to run up to the parking lot.
Okay. And where do you go?
at a safe distance where I can see and be out of the way.
Where do you go?
I don't remember exactly. I would have to look, and it was right off Ventura Boulevard, somewhere. I don't know exactly where.
So some ways away from the strip mall?
A little bit, but enough where I can see if there's some kind of movement.
Movement. By who?
Anybody.
Anybody.
Yep. But I'm still moving around because I don't want to sit still too long.
So you're driving around.
I'm driving.
So you're not like at any kind of a parked location.
No.
And how long are you driving around?
Seemed like hours, but it wasn't. It was probably minutes. I'm guessing. It's a guess.
Could it have been hours?
No, I don't want to say that. No. Why don't you holding me to it again? No, it wasn't hours though.
Not hours.
It wasn't hours.
So you told us that you get some information from Monica that she's going to send Fabio out to pick up food, right? Some kind of Chinese, you said, right?
Correct.
And you knew, you told us that the family only went to 2 places ever.
That I knew of that they usually go to.
Okay. And you had no way of knowing if Fabio was going to pick a different place, right?
He might have. He could have.
But before you went, you told us you had this GPS tracker
Had it on it for a while.
on the Porsche.
On both cars.
And so you were watching the Porsche do what before you left your apartment and made your alibi with the people that saw you leave?
He was still sitting.
He was still sitting,
Car showed still sitting.
okay?
So I just went to Ventura Boulevard to the halfway mark and just waited to see.
I see. So you went and sat on Ventura Boulevard to see if he would come to the one location.
Either one okay, to see which one we would go to.
So were you driving back and forth between 2 different locations?
I just told you, I just sat in the middle.
You sat in the middle.
I said, yeah, kind of in the middle, in between. It's further down the street off Ventura Boulevard.
I thought you told us that you sat at a location where you could see Chris Austin at the strip mall.
No, what you asked me was from where once Fabio parked, that's when I did that.
Okay. So
mixed
you
it
actually
up.
saw Fabio drive in to the
No,
strip mall.
I didn't. I was too far. I didn't want to get that close.
So how did you just say once he parked if you didn't see it?
Because I assumed it's about that time where he would have to park.
You assumed.
Yes.
Okay. So at some point in time as you're driving around, you decide he's probably going to come to this location and park.
Oh, he does. I see the Porsche eventually go by.
Oh, you did see it.
I saw the
Okay.
Porsche go by. It's nighttime.
Okay. So you saw the Porsche.
Eventually.
Okay. After how long of waiting at the strip mall did you eventually see the Porsche?
I don't know how much time went by. It wasn't that long.
10 minutes?
It wasn't that long.
Less than 5?
It was short time.
It was what?
It was a short time.
Like how long?
It was minutes.
Minutes. So as soon as you leave, you go to the strip mall, but you're parked in between 2 different locations.
No, I'm parked before that happens.
Okay. And then you see the Porsche go by on, are you saying on Ventura Boulevard?
Yes.
Okay. And so you then what? Follow him?
I don't follow him. I let him go. Keep going. I want him to go ahead and get parked.
So you park where?
This is the quick question you keep asking me again in a different way. I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was drop him off and drop Chris off in an area where I think there's no cameras. Let him go. Then once he goes, I get away from that just in case he's seen and try to find another place so I can keep an eye on things if I
In case
can.
Chris is seen.
Yes.
But nobody knows him here. That was the whole point of having him come, right?
Yeah, and that's part of it.
So that whole little piece about in case he's seen. So where do you go then? Once you see the Porsche go by, how do you know which strip mall or store or restaurant Fabio's going to go to?
Because he parks the car in the parking lot.
Oh, so you saw him parked.
I told you I did.
Okay, I just want to be clear. You told us that you saw him go by. You didn't say you saw him park. So you saw Fabio park the Porsche, yes?
Yes.
In the strip mall.
Yes.
And where does he park?
It looks like it was sort of in the front, maybe about 50 yards from Ventura Boulevard, in front of the area where the restaurant was.
So he parks right in front of the restaurant.
Sort of, but kind of away. I guess he was trying to keep his car from getting banged or something.
Okay. So where in relation to the restaurant does he park?
In front of it.
Describe us. Describe for us the place.
It's a restaurant with a big parking lot with a lot of different stores. He parks kind of in front of it, but away from it at the same time. It's the best I can do.
Okay. And then what do you see?
I move.
You move where?
I drive. I go to a different spot. I'm moving to a different spot. So now I'm trying to make sure I get out of the way. I don't want to make sure that my car is nowhere seen anywhere.
Okay. And then what?
Moments later, I get a call because I'll call on the burner, and he says, "Come pick me up."
Moments later.
No stopwatch. Don't know how much time went by. No stopwatch, so I don't know.
And is this Austin that you're saying he?
Yes.
He said, "Come pick me up."
Come pick me up, and I'm in the back. I'm in the back of the strip mall.
And you pick him up.
But right,
Okay.
and I already know it hadn't been done.
Because you were watching and you didn't see anything happen.
I'm watching, but I'm not watching the entire time because remember, I'm moving around.
Okay. And what time of day is this?
In the evening.
What time?
I don't know. I don't know the exact time. I don't.
And while you've got your burner phone, not the one you use with Monica, so you're not communicating with her from that burner
I don't
phone,
think I
right?
am because I'm purposely leaving it behind because I'm thinking it might get pinged. I'm
Right.
thinking.
That's what you told us.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Right. So you're not in communications with Monica at all during this time period. Right?
What do you mean the whole day?
No, during the time that you're, as you told us, driving around in the area of the strip mall, watching the Porsche go by.
I don't really
your
remember,
car,
honestly. I don't really remember.
Watching Fabio park, waiting for Austin. No communications, right?
I don't really remember. I don't think so, but I don't really remember that.
If I were to tell you that a geolocation expert testified in this case that you were sitting in the area of this strip mall for over 3 hours.
Wow.
The night of the attempted hit on Fabio. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
Okay.
It was not that long.
And if I were to tell you during that over 3 hour period that there were approximately 60 Viber messages between you and Monica during that period of time, is that going to change your testimony to this jury?
No, because I don't know. I don't remember all 3 hours. I don't remember that.
Okay. If I were to also tell you that that night Fabio was not driving the Porsche, would that also change your testimony?
I saw a black Porsche. So, I saw a black Porsche.
And that was the one you were following based on your
I saw.
GPS.
Yes.
And your GPS showed that the other vehicle that you had a GPS tag on, was still at the Sementilli home. That would be the black Ford F-150, right?
Correct.
So if Chris Austin came in and testified before this jury that you showed him a picture of Fabio and described a black or a dark blue colored Ford F-150 and that that's the vehicle that he saw come into the shopping center, again, does that change your testimony to this jury?
That tells you that my memory is so screwed up that I couldn't even remember that because I'm the one who took him.
259. The day that you said you were waiting for an opportunity to arise. This is January 22nd of 2017. Would it surprise you to see that once again there are communications back and forth between you and Monica starting just after midnight, picking up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and going all the way through the day? See that?
I do.
Showing you the second page. Again, messages going all the way through the day. You see that?
I do.
And the third page, once again, messages starting at 5:14 between you and Monica, all the way on this page till 8:37 at night.
Okay.
See that?
Yes.
And on the next page, the last page, again, from 8:37 all the way till 9:55 p.m. You see that?
I do.
Would it
I do.
surprise you to know that there were 180 Viber messages between you and Monica on the day that you and Austin attempted to kill Fabio Sementilli at this pho restaurant or Chinese place or whatever you want to call it at a strip mall?
What day is this? This says the 23rd. Yeah, the 23rd of January and the 22nd of January.
22nd into the 23rd.
Okay, I see
After
it.
midnight.
All right, I
See
see it.
that?
Mm-hmm. They're 2 different days. I got it now. All right. They're 2 different days.
180 Viber messages on January 22nd.
Yeah,
the day of the attempted hit.
Okay. We Viber all the time. We text. We chatted all the
You don't
time.
have your phone with you.
I
your
said,
phone's at home.
I told you. I told you. I didn't. I'm not sure. I told you this.
Okay. And this is the same application that the next night you deleted after the murder because, as you told this jury last week on several different occasions,
Glitchy.
because it was glitchy.
Yep.
But it worked on January 22nd, right? Because the information she provided you got you to the right shopping center, right?
It didn't get me to a right shopping center. It just happened. She mentioned that they were going to dinner. I just picked it up on my own. I picked up the information by myself.
On your own.
I just listened. All I do is listen. That's all I did. Listen.
So if I were to tell you that the defendant Googled phone near me and then sent an address to Fabio to pick up, that information was then provided to you, correct?
That is the first I heard of this.
In addition to communicating through Viber, did you and the defendant also communicate through the Lifestyle Lounge application?
Did we communicate through it?
Yeah, it has a chat feature, just like Viber.
We used it.
To chat, right?
Used it.
To talk, make calls, right? Just like you would through Viber.
We used it. I forgot how it works though, but it wasn't our primary way of sending messages.
Showing you Exhibit 259. Page 3. Here at 512. You see here Monica's phone number and Fabio's phone number.
I don't know his phone number,
But you had a GPS on his car, right?
but not on his phone.
Okay. Well, it says from Daddy. I'm going to tell you this is his number.
Okay.
See this right here? Google search, phone near me. From Fabio to Monica.
I know nothing about that.
Okay. A little further down. You see here on the defendant Monica's web history at 512, she's Googling phone near me.
Okay, I know nothing about that either.
Showing you Exhibit 260. See this here? Phone near me. 512, like I said.
Is that the same?
On the prior document.
Is that the same one? The same?
It's
same
another
thing?
document. I just gave you the exhibit number, okay?
Yeah.
See this over here? Phone near me at 512.
Okay.
Lifestyle Lounge. See that?
Okay.
See here at the top of the last page of People's 260 at 514, a location on Ventura Boulevard. See that?
I see it.
And then down here, about 25 minutes later, 541, a message from Monica. We talked about this being her email address. You want like chicken fried rice? See that?
Okay, I see it.
And see the phone number attached to it?
I see that number.
That's Bella.
Yeah, I know nothing about all this though.
But somehow, despite the
Your
fact...
Honor, can we approach?
geolocation expert, which is on Exhibit 158, for the date of January 22nd. See this red area?
Yes. Yes.
And see this smaller red area within it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that too.
You see that right here it has your address, your old address on Independence?
Yes.
See that? Do you recall receiving a phone call from Monica at 3 o'clock in the afternoon?
No, I don't. I can't. I don't.
Immediately after receiving that phone call, you left your apartment. That would be in the afternoon. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
And then, after receiving that
I remember when he showed up, it was dark, and I knew it was dark, and I remember being there when it was dark. I don't remember when I was being there during the daylight. I just don't remember that. I don't. Not for that purpose, anyway.
So you just happened to be on Ventura Boulevard waiting in a car with Chris Austin, your co-conspirator, with a knife to carry out a hit on Fabio Sementilli hours before he even showed up there.
I wouldn't even sit there for 3 hours like that.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. The testimony was not that definite.
So ruled.
You said that when Chris Austin got back to your car, or you had to call, he had to call you, right?
Correct.
But you told him to leave his phone home.
And a burner phone.
You gave him a burner phone when he came in.
Yeah.
So he calls you, right? And you go pick him up.
Correct.
And he tells you he couldn't do it.
I could tell he didn't do it, but yeah.
But he told
did.
you that.
He told me that too.
Right? And you could tell from the way that he was talking that this was something that Chris Austin wasn't going to be able to do himself. Right?
Well, after that, yeah.
And so you told him that you would go with him to carry out the hit, right?
When?
The
When?
next day.
No, I told him I needed him to be my lookout.
Okay. And you also told us that you had to put Austin in the middle of the murder in order to ensure his silence, right?
Yes. Yes.
Well, a lookout would obviously be responsible perhaps for something far different than a murder,
Objection.
right?
Madison strikes not an evidence.
Calls for a legal conclusion to stand on that ground.
You brought him with only to be a lookout, you said.
That was my intention, yes.
Yet you had to go with him to commit the murder, right?
Or he went with me.
Okay. You brought him with, right?
We went together.
He came here because you asked him to in order to kill your girlfriend's husband, to get him out of the way, right?
Correct.
Okay. So the next day, you told us that in the morning, Monica texted you and said she's going to the gym, right?
Text or called.
Okay. And she came to the gym that day, right? The two of you met there,
Correct.
right? What time was that?
11-ish. I'm guessing.
So let me take our lunch recess until 1:30. The admin is advised not to discuss this case either among yourselves or with anyone else or form or express any opinion until the cause is finally submitted to you. Have a good lunch.